What's up, Reapers? Welcome back to the Crypt. Today, I wanted to talk to you about some of my favorite bands currently, which I have most of them written down. I think the first one I'm going to start off with is what's on my shirt, Volvadinia, or Volvadania, however you want to say it. Unfortunately, I don't have any of their fucking shit. Some of these, I only have one or two releases, maybe three at the most. Um, One I know for a fact I don't have anything um that's written down. But Volvadinia, going into it, has always kind of entertained me, as I've always liked their sound for slam, as you can make out what Duncan Bentley was saying. I believe that's his name, on all the albums that he was on before the unfortunate event that I'm not really gonna talk about. If you know, you know. Um, but um, the part that amazes me is how as soon as you read the lyrics, you can actually understand what he's saying, and um, just the use of the samples, and overall just some of the stuff is like, okay, I could like see a music video playing out in your head, such as for Drowned in Vomit. Um, I could see someone being forced to vomit into a bathtub and then being forced to drown in it. Um, but overall, just their songs are really catchy and whatnot. Then next up is Kitsa. Well, I'm still new to Akitsa, and I only have the one album, that being my personal favorite, and I know White X Him um said it's his favorite, and it's probably the best place to start out with, which is probably why it's my favorite. Being that's where I started uh Goetia, or however the fuck you say it. Um, I've always found the rawness that they make really fucking just overall incredible, and it's still catchy black metal, but it's not over the top catchy. And I'm gonna be saying catchy a lot, and you'll notice that I'm saying this for shit that you would think wouldn't be considered catchy, but then again, for metal fans and people who like the more extreme genres, what we consider catchy is probably different than what, say, a pop fan considers catchy. Next up is Hellhammer, and yes, I mean the band Tom G. Warrior had before Celtic Frost. And unfortunately, I only have Apocalyptic Raids here. However, this has some of my favorite songs like Mascara, and Messiah is definitely one of my like top 10 Tom G Warrior songs ever. And you actually get in the booklet, you get the booklet in the case, which I always liked. Um, and while it took me a minute to actually get used to Tom's uh projects ear-wise, once I started finally listening to like Celtic Frost and whatnot again, I was like, okay, this is better than I remember it, because all I remembered was like the intro on Morbid Tales, and I was like, oh yeah, I should probably get a black metal poster, and that was like the first thing that came to mind, which it still could be considered black metal. but we're not here to talk about Tom. We're here to talk about Hellhammer. I find Hellhammer's production to be the best for what it was, which was much more a demo um, Celtic Frost, in my personal opinion. And, while I'm still very much new and still trying to get used to it, listening to their songs has been nothing more than entertaining. Next up is a technical death metal band called Nile. Some of you may actually know Nile. They're a pretty popular band. I got into them all thanks to two YouTubers, that being Killbot and Gorgor Attack and Count Blackroth. Killbot being the one that really got me into them, as he did that whole vinyl review for them, as well as Origin, which, while it is not on my written down list, I would say is another band that I've definitely been listening to a lot recently. And while my favorite album will definitely depend on the day, it's between Those Whom the Gods Detest and Ithyphallic, but it is usually Ithyphallic, as, to me, this is tech death that isn't just a bunch of noodly wankery like in Necrophagia, if I'm remembering my bands right. I believe it's Necrophagia, who is a tech death band, not Necrophagist, which are still good. And while I can respect what Necrophagia has done, I feel like Nile just did it a lot better. And me personally, I um I definitely don't see uh Nile stopping anytime soon. Sorry, I was up really late last night. Um, and I also just find Nile to have some of the best vocals. I mean, if you listen to something like Lashed to a Slave Stick, I that song just sticks with me. Um, and sure, some of the songs can be lengthy, but like they're entertaining, and it's definitely nice to see something like Lovecraftian based lyrics and more Egyptian themes, rather than, I don't know, just, oh, here's us trying to play fast and aggressively, and here's what I can do on a fucking guitar. Here's me noodling and wanking 30 times. And that brings us to my next band, Proclamation. I mean the war metal band Proclamation. And while I'm still new to them, and I know many people got into them because of Count Blackroth, and I'm one of those people, they have a sound that is entertaining for me. I have 3 CDs here. We have Execration of Cruel Bestiality, which I think is my favorite. Messiah of Darkness and Impurity. And one of the only demos I own in my collection, that being the Imperious Jaws of Ire. These guys create some of my favorite war metal songs. I mean, Witching Torment, Altars of Mayhem, Orgy of the Damned, and overall, they it just makes some of the best fucking war metal riffs that I've heard in a while. And um you know, the next band is one of my favorite fucking bands ever, that being Revenge. And I know some of you watched my video yesterday, and I was wearing my Revenge shirt, and yeah, that is one of my favorite bands for good reason. They make catchy songs and catchy riffs, and I say that for a band, well, a band and genre that's abrasive and aggressive, such as war metal. And you might be thinking, how can something like that, where it's not really meant to be catchy, the same way as a song like All the Things She Said by Tattoo is. And to me, I say, because to me it'll stick with you. I mean, I was listening to Revenge right before I got this out, and I was like humming the riff to Blood of My Blood. And I think what was the fucking Mass Death Mass from Behold Total Rejection. And for me, this is a band that means more than I could ever say, because while I'm not saying that they like save me from suicide because I'm suicidal or whatever, they definitely helped me through a tough time. And I know that's weird to say about a band like Revenge, where you would think that they would probably actually end a few, just from how obnoxiously abrasive it is. The next band is Defeated Sanity. Um, Defeated Sanity is a brutal death metal band that has a bit of technicality to it, and I love it. Their name is perfect for what you hear. It actually feels like you're listening to the soundtrack of someone who has lost their sanity, or their sanity has been defeated. Um, and while I don't own anything from them yet, I definitely want to get their music on not only CD but vinyl, and if I can, tape. And I'm not huge into cassettes, so for a band to be that good, where I'm like, okay, you could easily get tapes in my collection from them, I wouldn't mind, is huge. And next up is a Black and Death band called Mystifier. Now, I own technically 3 releases, but it's on 2 CDs. I got Goetia, which is one of my favorite Black Death albums at this point, not even because of Count Blackroth, although he did get me into them, but just because it is so catchy, and I need to get more of their stuff. But I also own The Evil Ascension Returns and Tormenting the Holy Trinity. This is a CD that has both of those on there, and I absolutely love it. The mere anger and just overall sound that these guys have is insane, and I actually have a Mystifier poster that came with one of these. I think it was this one that I want to put up, but at the same time, I'm planning on moving out, moving in with my friend. At some point this year, and working at the same golf course that he's worked at, which is kind of why I haven't really gone out and gotten a job, though I have one just in case it takes longer than we expect. But it shouldn't be too long now. We, it's one of those bands that, like, I could put it on and feel satisfied that I'm listening to them. And next up, and I'm sorry if I butcher this, Band of Lebanon with only one release, and I really want to get it. I'm hoping to. I've heard it pronounced Damir, Damar, Damaar. A war metal band of Lebanon, as some of you should know. If you watched Wyatt X Hymns, Black Metal Iceberg chart, he did the Bastille Black Metal bit, and he played the part of I forget, I know it's like something of mass suicide, where he goes, die, I wish to die. Die, I wish to die, which is one of the catchiest choruses in war metal I've ever heard. And I kid you not, when I first heard that, I was mind blown. Absolutely mind blown. And while, yes, they only have the one release, and then I know they broke up, the genuine hate in the voice of the guy doing it is it's one of those songs that just gets me feeling that anger and hate. And my last and final band I want to bring up is Archgo from Finland. And yes, I'm leaving off quite a few bands such as In Flames, Insomnium, Dystopia. I'm keeping this a short list. Archgo is a band that, again, like Revenge, is one of my favorite bands of all time. And I feel like when you listen to their music, again, you hear that catchiness. And you won't be disappointed. And while I need to get more of their stuff, even the little EP that I own right here, that being All Christianity Ends, I still feel like I get something within this, 15 minutes. Booklet. And, it's overall just a band that whenever I get put in the mood for, they're on repeat for weeks, sometimes even months. I guess the last band I lied. One more band, I forgot to write it down, a gore grind band from Spain, Hemorrhage. Um, just catchy gore grind, and I feel like it's one of those bands that I feel like everyone should know. So that said, thank you all for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and as always, keep it grim.